but I love his play style. I love his pedigree.
A guy that's got left tackle feet.
With the 14th pick, the New England Patriots select.
What's up, everybody? It's Mike Dussault, Evan Lazar. We are back here in front of the big board for Mock Draft 2.0. Now, Evan and I, we just spent a full week in Indianapolis. We saw all these prospects. We got all the results of their testing. This has informed our mock drafts. Now, a little bit of a twist here. Neither Evan nor I have seen each other's mock drafts, so you're going to get a live reaction right here. I'm sure Evan's going to be really impressed with mine, and I'm going to redefine how he's looking at this draft. So I think age before beauty, I'm going to go first here. Let's throw Deuce's mock draft 2.0 up on the screen, and here it is. Go ahead, Evan. Gaze your eyes on this wonderful mock draft. I'm starting at the bottom here, and this is my guy, Jake Bobo. Talk to him, Belmont Hill kid, local kid. Maybe it's a sentimental pick,
You
but
went to the 7th round first.
well, I'm going to start at the bottom. We're going to build our way up to the good stuff, but Jake Bobo, look, traits guy, tall, hands, knows how to run some routes. I think he's got some potential there. 7th round, that's what you're looking for. Moving up, Isaiah Moore. Then this is going to start the run, and Evan, I think, is going to agree with me here. Shrine Bowl guys, right?
Shrine Bowl.
There's going to be Shrine Bowl guys.
Can't have enough Shrine Bowl guys.
That's right. Isaiah Moore, maybe not quite as big as Jawan Bentley, but he's that kind of linebacker, an old school kind of guy. Loved hearing from him at the combine. Again, Dorian Thompson, I'm keeping him on. I had him on my last mock draft. What I want to do is keep him because I think he's just a developmental guy. I knew he threw the ball like a rocket there. He's also got developmental traits, and I look at him too as like a practice squad guy. Hey, we've got someone to prepare us for all these mobile quarterbacks that have given us problems. 6th round, Javarius Owens. Now, this is a safety pick, and he's not quite the ideal free safety kind of guy that we're looking for should Devin McCourty retire, but I think he's got the traits. 4-year starter, captain. He's got all that. Plays special teams. 6th round, he's their kind of guy. Talked to him as well in Indy. Love Marcus Jones. You know the Patriots are aware of him. So we're getting up now. This is the real stuff, Evan. We're getting real. Of course.
The Deuce.
Deuce has got to pick Deuce. Am I right? I mean, come on. This is mock draft. Look. At least we know that the Patriots at least have some kind of interest in small backs. We've seen J.J. Taylor around, hasn't been able to get up onto the main roster. Deuce Vaughn, I think he's a little bit tougher, a little bit bigger, has a little bit more breakthrough ability, but he's electric, and that's what I like. I want weapons, and I'm going to continue that trend. Now, Evan, I told you before we shot, somebody was making gifts last night, a Luke Schoonmaker, and I'm like, oh my God, did he see my pick? But I really like Schoonmaker. You got to tap this tight end class. And Evan, everything you wrote on your Twitter, I totally agreed with, and I was like, wow, he's really teeing this up well. Is he going to run away from anybody? Probably not, but he's a big guy, big hands, catch radius, 3rd tight end. He's got the size I think that you need. Now we're getting into the nitty gritty. Round 3, Jaden Reed. Hurt to wait for a receiver this long, I'm not going to lie. But he's one of my favorites. Tore up the Senior Bowl. Love what he said at Indy. Had an eye infection, wearing sunglasses, explained it before he went. I think he could really help the team in the middle of the field. And if you look, these 3 picks, all kind of targeted, center of the field, quick guys, playmakers. Schoonmaker, a little bit of a developmental guy. Last 2, I know we got to trade up for Darnell Wright. He's really hot after the combine, so I'm going to use one of those 3 4th-round picks and get up to get him. I've seen mock drafts where he's going in the 1st round too. So you don't know if he's still going to be there, but I think if you could get back up into the mid-30s, this is a guy, I think he's plug and play on the right side, played a little bit of left tackle as well. He's a brute, he's strong, everything you like about an offensive tackle who's tough. Now, finally, I didn't believe it, Evan. When we went to the combine, I'm like, Joey Porter, we're not taking Joey Porter. Like that's Joey Porter from... He's a different guy. I think this is what you need, a long cornerback. He does have some questions, but his physicality, going back to him after the combine, his smarts. Can he play in this match, zone defense that the Patriots love to play? Big guy. I think you can put him as a matchup piece as well. So that's it. That's Deuce's mock. Go ahead, Evan, tear it apart.
Let's hit a race on the John Madden pictures that we just drew. But I really like a couple of these picks, and we actually have some overlap in a few of the day 3 guys as well. So I watched Schoonmaker recently. I think he's the type of guy that is very underrated in a deep tight end class. I ran a 4.6, 4.63, I think it was exactly in the 40-yard dash. Relative athletic score of 9.75 out of 10. I think there's some untapped potential there with him, and he's a really good blocker. So I think day 1, he comes in 2 tight end, 3 tight end sets on the goal line. He steps right into a blocking role. Then maybe in year 2, if Hunter Henry's not here anymore, Johnny Smith's not here anymore, you have a guy that I think has some low tight end 1 type of upside. The other guy that I really like, and I understand we like Mac Jones too around here. Okay, I get that. But this Dorian Thompson Robinson DTR, I'm just going to call him DTR because it's very much easier. I think that he's even going up a little bit further. I had him in a general same spot as you did, so I hope that he's there in the 6th round. But you talk about an athletic kid with a rocket arm, doing all the right things in the offseason to go and improve his accuracy and his overall ability as a passer. I think he's getting there. So how far up? This is my question. How far up are we going for Darnell Wright?
That's the question. How far do you got to go? And I mean, I know I mean, I've seen
Yeah.
mock drafts. He's their first round pick at 14, which is
Right.
crazy. But hey, we're in mock draft land. We're going to have a guy that we really want.
So I think the question is for them going into free agency. This is my number one question. When we get to my mock draft, I'll explain it a little bit too. Do they need a left tackle or do they need a right tackle? Like, which one are we going into the draft saying this is the spot we absolutely need to hit? Right now, I think you need both, but hopefully through free agency, whether it's Orlando Brown on the left side or Caleb McGarry or Mike McGlinchey on the right side, you go into the draft with one of those spots filled and you're just looking for the other one through the draft in the top 50. But we're pretty much on the same page. We're a little bit different,
Yeah.
but we're pretty much on
And
the same page.
we're going to break down the first round picks at the end. So we'll get to Porter and whoever Evan chose. We'll see. We'll see that now. I guess coming up, you ready to unveil it? Go ahead.
Drum roll, please. We have a huge trade right here for the Patriots. Two things with DeAndre Hopkins. We'll get to it in a second. Yeah, we'll get to our overlaps here in a sec. But with DeAndre Hopkins, I have two reasons why I feel so strongly about this actually being a possibility. At 14, Bill Belichick, he likes to build his team from the inside out. I don't think he wants to use the 14th overall pick on a wide receiver. And I think the problem that you probably ran into, Mike, in your mock is that if you don't take a wide receiver at 14, the Zay Flowerses and the Jordan Addisons of the world, they're all going to be off the board by the time you get to 46. So to get that real impact receiver, it feels like it's either 14 or you're making a trade to go out and get DeAndre Hopkins. Bill Belichick calls up old friend Monty Ossenfort. They finally get their number one receiver in the building, and I think that that's a big move for the Patriots. But I didn't stop there with the offensive playmakers, because I think you have Hopkins on the perimeter, you have Tyquan stretching the field, taking the top off, but you still need those quick jitterbug type players in the middle of the field. Sam Laporta from Iowa. This is a guy that I really, really like at the tight end position. I like Schoonmaker too, is a little bit later if you miss out on the Laportas of the bunch. But this is a 6'3", 245-pound tight end that ran a 6.8 second 3 cone. He can get in and out of breaks really well, angle routes, slants, bench routes, things like that. And I know if they draft this kid, that Bill O'Brien's going to figure out how to get him into matchups, right? Get him on a linebacker, get him on a safety in the middle of the field, and third and Laporta. That's going to be the thing. We got 3rd and 5. You get Sam Laporta on a linebacker in the middle of the field. He's going to be moving the chain. So there's your chain mover in the middle of the field with Hopkins on the outside, with Tyquan over the top. Couple more quickness, right? Deuce Vaughn. We both have Deuce Vaughn in ours. I had him down in the 6th round just because of how he weighed in at the combine. 5'5", 170 it's tiny, right? And I think a lot of teams are going to look at that and see him as more of a late day 3 pick just because of that. So I really like Deuce Vaughn, though, coming out of the backfield in that James White role. Perfect role for him. And we're going to get to the 1st round picks at the top. So I'll go one more day 3 guy, Demario Douglas. That is a Shrine Bowl guy, somebody that Zay Flowers practiced for 1 day, and then all the other days, the guy that stood out at the receiver position in the slot was Demario Douglas from Liberty. You talk to people that watched a lot of Malik Willis as well. They kept on saying who's the receiver he's throwing to all the time. It was Demario Douglas. I think he's got a ways to go with his route running, but I think he's somebody that has that separation quickness, that burst off the line of scrimmage, ran in the low 4.4s, and last but not least, the punter. We got to bring in some punter competition. Michael Turk out there in Vegas as well with the Patriots at the Shrine Bowl. Really impressed Cam McCord and Joe Houston, the Patriots special teams coaches. I think he's somebody that they have their eye on.
I mean, Evan, I'm impressed. And look, I'm going to just do it right now. That's kind of a heart. Sorry, I don't draw it great, but that's a heart for me. Absolutely. I mean, I love that trade. Get a guy in here, Mac. We're entering year 3. We need to know and I think Hopkins can still play. I mean, you saw what he did last year in a shortened season. Yeah. Love what I saw from him. Laporta, absolutely a guy on my list. Darius Rush, I mean, South Carolina. Cam Smith, another cornerback, really good out of there. Love it. I mean, their pedigree is clear. And just one more guy I wanted to comment on was Warren McClendon, who was another guy that I went and seeked out. It seems like a great value late in the day. Serious football guy. That's one of my rankings. And Warren McClendon seems like it. So let's now just go quick to our last slide here, which is just going to be our first round pick. So we're going to kind of just talk out a little bit about what we were thinking. And Evan, why don't you go first with Anton Harrison, who's another combine riser?
So we talked earlier about, are they going to need a left or are they going to need a right tackle? So I'm thinking, looking at this free agency class, you have McGlinchey, you have Jawan Taylor, you have Caleb McGarry. I think there's some options for them to play the right side, especially if you want to flip Trent back over to right. I think that's another option too. So here's a prototypical left tackle, a guy that's got left tackle feet, no length concerns, 34 and a fourth inch arms. So we don't have to circle the arms this time, right? We got good arm length, we got good size, we got great athleticism and feet tested through the roof at the combine. Your prototypical left tackle, really enjoyed talking to him in India as well. So I think that that's why I went with Harrison this time over Skoronski in my first mock draft, is that he just checks a few more of the boxes that you would like for that mold, that prototype at that position, and you get somebody that can play the left side.
Yeah, and for me, lastly on Porter, I feel like this is a huge need. Cornerback, you got to get these guys up, and I feel like at the top of the draft. There are a lot of good cornerbacks, Evans, South Carolina guys. I mean, there's a long list, and you could certainly get some good guys later in the draft. I didn't want to wait, though. I don't think the defense needs a ton in terms of rookies to come in and contribute, but this is one that I thought could come in and immediately just be a matchup piece. Long arms, he's going to be in guys' hip pockets. Now, is he going to be the man-to-man lockdown corner, travel with guys and just take that guy? It might take some time to develop to that, but I love his play style. I love his pedigree. I love his smarts. I love his length. There's a lot to like about him. Now, I will just say, if Christian Gonzalez was there, I would go with Christian Gonzalez, but I don't think he's going to be there. He's definitely my favorite cornerback. Any last comments, Ev?
I love Joey Porter Jr. too. I like him a lot. I think that his length makes up for some of the things that he's going to have limitations with, the long speed, carrying guys, the shorter, quicker, shiftier receivers that maybe he might get matched up in the NFL. Yeah, you might see him a step behind, but with that arm length, he just makes up for it, right? With easily kind of sneaking in there. So I love Joey Porter Jr. I think the one question that you have with corner is, can you get a corner on day two that's comparable to somebody that you're going to get on day one? Whereas with the tackles, I think you miss out. If you don't take a tackle early in the first round, I think starting caliber tackles that can step in day one and play, I think you're out on that by the time you get to 46, unless you trade up like you did. The Barmore is what I like to call it, right? You just target a guy at the top of the second round.
Those fourth round picks, it just seems like such an easy way to stack that with a second rounder and move up. So great stuff. And of course, free agency starts next week. So this could all change. But generally, I would just say, not just our mocks, but everybody's mocks. You're looking at tackle, wide receiver, cornerback in those first three picks.
Yes.
How can you maximize that value, whether you're tapping free agency like Evan did, or you're trading up like I did in the draft itself? So a lot of options. And of course, after free agency, you know what's coming back. Mock Draft 3.0, we'll be back. We'll see how that one goes.